Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the WSBA here at Wolverine Studios on our Twitch channel. We are getting ready for another very exciting sim this week as we close out the month of January in our league. As I welcome all of our league members as they start coming into the chat box. Looking forward to another great chat tonight, guys. As we always start off, thanking our followers, including our newest follower, Chimera Team Gaming. Welcome to our channel. And of course, big thanks to our subscribers who are helping to support our efforts here on our streaming channel. We put out a video earlier in the day from last week's sim where Indiana only scored 59 points in that game. Hopefully Indiana doesn't stoop to such lows this week, but we'll see. And I think we're gonna have a good sim. Hopefully no issues here. And we'll get started in just a moment. Let's take a look and recap our standings as we wait for everybody to come in. I see GM Games Chris, Sophisticated Films, Coolest Jedi, Timmy M, Genie, Bravo Leader, Cards. Welcome and good evening to all of you guys, or good morning if the case may be. And we'll get everybody else in here. Chicago still leading the East, 38-7. Very comfortable lead at the top of the East. Boston, Toronto, Washington angling for that second seed and the all-important ability to avoid Chicago until the end. Philly and Brooklyn still very much in the mix. Brooklyn made some trades that they should be better, but they're 3-7 in their last 10, so they've struggled a little bit after their trades. Milwaukee has been surging as of late and gotten themselves back into the playoffs, and Miami also hanging on to that last spot in the West. OKC 38-6, best record in the league. Genie and his Spartans closing in a little bit, 35-10. New Orleans, LA, Utah, Memphis, Minnesota, and Portland rounding out the playoff hopefuls there. As we know, the trade deadline will be at the beginning of February, so we'll have this sim, and then we're going to do a short sim next time to get up to the deadline. So we've got a couple of weeks left for trading for everybody who's looking to make those last-minute deals as teams figure out whether they are buyers or sellers going into the deadline. So here we go, just a one-game matchup here on the 16th with LA and Dallas. Probably another big game from Jerry Riggs coming up here. And Riggs does have a big game, but it's not big enough. And the Commodores pull out the victory there. Oops, wrong way. Riggs with 31. Jason Demamby, we've had his name a bit earlier in the season. He hasn't been at the top lately. Luton and Johnson, 27-25 for LA. Nice slate of games here on the 17th. If the button will cooperate. There we go. Carl Jackson leads Boston to a win. LA over New York. Toronto, Warren, another triple-double, but in a losing effort. Chicago beats Minnesota. Detroit's trying. Atlanta with a victory. Washington with an important victory. Big game out of Hopper. Oh, so close to beating OKC. See, my team really is good. We should be in the playoffs. Barrett, a big game, but a loss for Denver. New Orleans keeps rolling. Golden State keeps rolling. Indiana, 65 points. What is going on with Indiana? Hey, Breeze, welcome in. Random task. Hey, what are the odds we can live watch a game? I was kind of thinking about doing something like that in the playoffs or maybe the finals or something like that. I think we will try that at some point. That's a fun idea. Yeah, Indiana definitely losing trading delay, but I mean, come on, 65 points is just abysmal. Just looking at that box score is ugly. 33% from the field, 19% from three, and 60% from the line. Let's go to the 18th now and see what we got here. 3 games. LA has been surprising some of the better teams, so we'll see if Brooklyn hangs on. Washington with Cleveland and Dallas and Portland here. There's DeLea, speaking of him, 30 points and a victory there. Hopper, another huge game, 32 and 22 for Hopper. Hopper's got to be in the running for MVP, I think. I mean, he's been phenomenal for Washington. 32 for Hopper with 22 boards and 4 blocks. I mean, he's averaging 26 and 11. Almost 4 blocks and steals per game. And he's doing it with a sprained finger right now, too. So definitely putting some pressure on the MVP race by Hopper there. Friday the 19th. Nice big slate of games here. Toronto over New York. Chicago gets their 40th win of the season. Detroit upsets Memphis. Rizzo and Charlotte still can't get a W there. Miami struggling. Orlando, sell. Denver, Barrett almost drops 40 there. I think Indiana has become maybe the worst team in the league after their trade. So Indiana may be on the way to the number 1 pick. Van is in the house. Welcome, Van. Hopper's been having big game after big game while you've been out here. Sean Roberts with 42. Barrett, close second on the night with 39. Will Martin had 16 assists for my Orlando Mystics. So if you're looking to make a trade, he and everybody else on my team could be available, as our playoff hopes are dwindling by the game. Philly gets their 28th win. Chicago in a close one over Cleveland. Brooklyn barely squeaks out a win over Detroit. I think OKC got beat there by Minnesota. That's surprising. And Warren, there you go. He is the WSBA Player of the Week. No surprise when he drops 50, but he's not even the leading scorer on the night, as it's Jerry Riggs and his 52 points in a losing effort to Utah. So even when Cards has a bright spot there, something's got to take it away from him. And it's Jerry Riggs in his 52 points. Let's check out the box score on that game. Riggs goes 15 for 26, 14 for 17 at the line. Still a minus 13 on the floor. But 52 points is an impressive effort. I think Warren might be close to the league in triple doubles for the season. So he might have that going for him. He's had a bunch, I know. Warren went 20 for 43. Wow, he apparently decided that nobody else was going to get the shoot. But he did hand out 13 assists and 9 rebounds. So I guess basically when Philly comes down the floor, they give the ball to Warren every single possession. He's got to touch the ball. Must be in his contract. But 43 shots, that's impressive. 20 for 43 isn't so impressive, though. So I guess he didn't deserve the top honors of the night after all. Here we go on Sunday the 21st. 8 games. Anything big on the schedule? Boston and New Orleans. That'll be a good one. Portland and Indy, I predict, will be an ugly one for Indy. Brooklyn squeaks by. New York, Washington, tough loss there, but Hopper with a big game. Orlando, there's Will Martin again, 32-14. So get your trade offers in there. New Orleans handles Boston. Toronto over San Antonio. Denver, another loss. Barrett, only 17 points. Indiana brought the offense this time, but no defense. We've got some interesting happenings there. Brooklyn is just squeaking by victory after victory. So I guess it's good for them that they're hanging in there, but not in an impressive fashion. I think we got to watch out for New Orleans. They might surprise people in the West. They've been awfully good without a lot of fanfare. On to Monday the 22nd. Chicago barely wins over San Antonio. Cleveland heading for the bottom. Orlando with another loss. Minnesota's been playing well, I think. OKC gets a win in there. I saw an injury or two come up. Let's take a quick look at the injury statuses and make sure it's nothing serious for anybody. Cleveland almost back to full strength now. Corliss Miles, strained abdominal. He's out about 2 weeks. Minnesota's almost healthy. I think they had like 5 injuries last sim. I've got 4 here in Orlando. So we'll blame all of our losses on injuries. Carl Schuler from San Antonio in the concussion protocol. But other than that, not too bad. Bravo thinks Marvin McDonald is going to lead them to a playoff run. They've got a lot of running to do to catch Miami, though. So I'm not betting on that one. Charlotte, 7 wins. Still the worst, and that gap is widening, although Denver is pushing their way back down there, as is Indiana. Toronto wants an aging vet on a bad team. I probably have those. I probably have plenty of them. My team's not any good. Golden State and Philly, a big game there for Golden State. Cleveland falls again to New Orleans. Washington in a low score over Milwaukee. Charlotte, the first team to 40 losses. Stackhouse back leading Boston to a victory. Denver, another loss, but another good game from Barrett. Let's see, Aaron Haywood, 36 for the Beams. Riggs up there with 35. He's always at the top of the leaderboard for scoring. In fact, I'm wondering who the league leader is in scoring right now, because I've seen Riggs up there so much. He's got to be close. It's still Sean Foreman, but Riggs is right there at number 2. Delia Roberts, Lee Taylor from Golden State, Stackhouse. Brendan Chambers, we don't talk a lot about him, but he is in the top 10 of scoring. There's Hopper, 11th in scoring at 25.9 a game. On we go to the 24th, 6-game slate. Chicago and Indiana. That one should be a blowout, but it'd be awfully funny if Indiana somehow won that game. Brooklyn drops a home one. New York, another loss. Oh, Indiana was close. Indiana was close. Houston over Portland. And OKC got a win in there as well. The All-Star game is in mid-February. Breeze, I think we can pull up the dates. The All-Star game is February 16th through the 18th. Maybe we'll play out the All-Star game or something on here. I don't know. We'll see. We haven't actually tried to play any of the 2D games yet, but maybe we'll do something like that. And definitely would like to do something like that maybe for the finals. Just a couple days left to go in the month. Golden State and Boston. That'll be a good one, Jeannie. Toronto and Cleveland. Washington gets the gimme today against Charlotte. And another chance for Denver to fall in the standings at Utah. Ooh, Boston with a surprise victory there. Cleveland with an upset over Toronto. Philly, James Warren, not quite as impressive that night. Maybe that's the secret. Maybe Warren needs to do less. Denver with a win on a big outing from Barrett again. So that was an interesting sim. Cleveland, Cleveland's got to decide. Well, they were doing so well in their race for the bottom, and then they decide they're going to start heading back thanks to Marvin McDonald. Let's see if it was Marvin. We've talked so much about him as he's been out for so many games. He had 19 and 6. Really, Guyton was a nice story, and Smith off the bench plus 19. They held Dimitrova to 8 points and 9 rebounds. So that's a recipe for beating Toronto. And I think there's more excitement for the race to the bottom than there is for the race to the top here. But we'll see. The lottery, when we send the lottery live, that'll be fun. We'll have people in here who are really rooting for that one. Key matchup in the East on the 26th, Chicago and Brooklyn. Toronto and Detroit. Toronto can't sleep on Detroit. And another chance for Riggs to go nuts for Dallas. There we'll do the lottery reveal really slow and drag it out like on TV. Let's see. I've had a couple issues pushing the sim button today. I've been working on that in college, so I'll have to release an update here. Brooklyn with a win over Chicago. Milwaukee smokes Denver. Memphis over New Orleans. Is there a way for us to draft live? Yeah, we could draft live. I think the draft will be kind of an interesting thing because we'll probably have to do some kind of combination of, maybe people sending in lists and then everybody else who can be here doing the draft live or something like that. Well, we'll cross that bridge as we get to it, but definitely doing the draft live would be kind of interesting. And cards, there are no frozen envelopes in the game. No frozen envelopes. And for anybody who doesn't know what that reference is, just Google Patrick Ewing NBA draft conspiracy frozen envelope. Good times for the NBA. Checking the standings here as we get ready to head towards the final games of the sim. Chicago still with plenty of room on top despite their loss to Brooklyn. Brooklyn hanging around that 6th spot. Detroit has moved themselves into the playoff race here as Miami has struggled as of late. And Cleveland, yes, they have that 1-game winning streak. Indiana's lost 11 in a row. Charlotte losers of 4, sitting on 7 wins still. OKC getting a little bit more space from Golden State. Playoff picture not changing too much in the West. Houston's won 7 of their last 10, so they've moved into that last spot. Portland right there, though. So the playoff picture seems to be getting more and more clear here. Let's see what we got for the 27th. Philly and Boston. Here you go. Cleveland's revenge tour has to go through Golden State now. New York and Indy, that one ought to be something. Let's get it going. Warren with a big game, but not enough. Cleveland, Marvin McDonald, 31 points, the upset over Golden State. You have to wonder what would have happened to Cleveland without that injury. Washington Hopper, another big win. Charlotte picks up a W finally. They're trying to scrap their way to 10 wins. What could Cleveland's season have been without that injury to Marvin? But the future will be bright for Cleveland. An impressive win there at home against Golden State. Curtis Toney, we haven't seen his name too often before, if at all, at the top of the leaderboard. He's got 38 to lead the night. Brendan Chambers, 13 assists for Portland. Hopper, 20 boards. Speedy Parker. We haven't seen Speedy Parker before. He had 5 steals for the New York Metros in their win. Portland center Tyler Cleaver named WSBA Player of the Week. So another honor for Cleveland and Portland. Short slate here on the 28th. Toronto upset Chicago. Denver with a victory there. Milwaukee, another win as they get over 500 now. We can check that box score for the Chicago game and see what happened there. Looks like Brown is only playing let's see, no injuries there. Do they have Justin Brown? I haven't learned all the players' names in the league yet. We'll check their roster. Yep, they do have Justin Brown. He has been out, but he should be back any day now. You were right on that one, Cards. All right, final days of January. 3 days left to go. Another chance for Cleveland here. With New York on the schedule. I get Charlotte. So maybe a win finally for me on this sim. Metcalf, Cleveland, another win. Watch out for Cleveland. Indiana over Dallas. Boston squeaks by Atlanta. I get the victory over Charlotte. Can't let Rizzo beat me. Cards with a big win there. Another tough loss for Golden State. Genie's got to rally the troops for the next sim. Oh, John Stackhouse suffered an injury. Be interesting to see. We'll check that out before we end the sim. 4 games on the 30th. Houston over Charlotte. New Orleans over Milwaukee in a high score. Ross Barrett, 31 for Denver in a victory. San Antonio over LA. Anything interesting? Foreman, the league leader in points, he had 38. Barrett, 31 and 12 on the night. Foreman had 38 and 10. And 9 rebounds, almost a triple-double. That card says he doesn't think there's a team he's ignored more than San Antonio. They are just the most nondescript team in the league, I guess. Last sim of the night. We got a good one here. Golden State on this road trip. They need to pick up a victory over Brooklyn. We'll see if Cleveland is for real here as they travel to OKC. Oh, a surprise victory for Orlando over Boston. Golden State gets a W. Toronto, close one against Indy. Memphis is still rolling. OKC beats Cleveland. The streak is over for Cleveland. Barrett puts up a lot of points. Logan with a big stat line for Miami, but not enough against the Commodores. Jeannie says he's made the phone call to coach to stop partying. That's smart move there. They got to focus in on the season. Wait for the All-Star break to do their partying. And no cards. I didn't put in an injury to Stackhouse right before I play them, just before you suggested. It's a preemptive strike on that one. There's an Orlando Dinos G League team. I thought I was seeing Orlando. My G League team is Orlando, but it's something else. There's Ontario for the Dinos. That's their G League team. My G League team is Lakeland. Same team named Mystics. Sean Foreman finishes off the sim as Player of the Month. And Brooklyn rookie guard Matt Metcalf has been named the WSBA Rookie of the Month. Let's check out that injury report. See how bad the injury to Stackhouse is. Oh, brutal news for Boston as John Stackhouse has torn his MCL. He is done for the season. That is a brutal blow for the Boston Irish as they lose their leading scorer and top player to a torn MCL. Dallas has lost Cherokee Lemke to almost 2 months with a broken finger. Ooh, that was a brutal end of the sim there for Boston. Deion Holtz from Milwaukee has broken his hand. He's out a month. New York with a whole laundry list of injuries. But that Stackhouse injury is just brutal for Boston. That could really shake things up here in the East. We'll look at the standings before we go, but that's got to clear the way for Washington or Toronto to get that second spot. Chris asked about long-term injury reserve. There's no IR in the game, but you can trade players who are injured. So Boston is going to be falling. I have a hunch here. Washington, Toronto, Philly looking to pick up the slack there. Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Detroit still hanging on. Atlanta surging a little bit here. Orlando, I'm not out of it yet, but I really kind of think I am out of it. Cleveland, 1-11 in the division. That's a rough number for Cleveland. Charlotte still under 10 wins. Still hoping for that top pick. Out west, OKC, best record in the league, still 44-7. Golden State 5.5 back. In New Orleans, LA, Memphis, Utah, Houston, Portland. Houston, 9 out of the last 10. Minnesota struggling a little bit lately, and the bottom teams seem to kind of just be stuck there. So just as we thought the playoff picture was getting clear, Stackhouse injury throws a wrench in it for Boston. Although we're 50 games, 50 plus in some cases, games into the season, so to make up 13 games at this point would take really a big drop for Boston. We'll see how they hang on. We'll see if they make a move maybe to remain in the playoff hunt. And let's just check out Boston's roster really quick and see what they have besides Stackhouse. They still got Juan Evans, Carl Jackson too. He's been a big time player this year. So even though they won't have Stackhouse, they still have some talent there. But yeah, losing him, 94 in scoring, that's a big time loss for them. But we'll see. Kid Coffee says things are looking good for his Memphis Roar. Even even after the trades, which I think strengthened them maybe from a long-term perspective, but they're still strongly in the playoff race here. Winners of 6 in a row there, so looks like the moves there have been a good shakeup for the Memphis Roar since Kid Coffee came in and took over. So that's going to do it. We're going to end tonight on that Stackhouse injury note. So next sim should be very interesting. We will do a short sim so that we can get to the trade deadline, which is, I think, the 8th, was it? Yes. So we'll sim through the 7th next week. So you probably won't even take a half hour for the stream normally, but that way we'll give everybody this week to trade as well as next week to trade before the deadline, and then we'll finish up the next sim to the All-Star game, and maybe we'll play the All-Star game out live and let everybody cheer for their All-Stars in the game. So I want to thank everybody for coming to the stream tonight. We'll update the website and league files and stuff shortly. Thank you to everybody who's following our channel, and especially to our subscribers. If you have the opportunity to subscribe and support us on here, we'd sure appreciate you doing so. One final reminder before we go: if you are interested in our college games, college football 2021 was just launched last Friday officially, so you can get that at our website or on Steam. And we just announced yesterday on our Developer Dynasty that the first access will begin for Draft Day Sports College Basketball 2021 next Monday. So if you're looking forward to that, next Monday exclusively at WolverineStudios.com will be your opportunity to pre-order, get a discount, and play the beta of College Basketball 2021 as we get ready for our release in March there. So a couple of orders of items of interest there if you like our college games. So Card says he's going to take next week off of work. I think that's a good idea to get into college basketball. I know Chris from GM Games and Cards, big time college hoop fans there. So I know those guys have been eagerly awaiting for it, and I hope a lot of you other guys are too. I'll see you in our web store on Monday for that one. So that'll do it for this week. We'll see you back here next Wednesday for a short sim as we sim to the trade deadline. And remember, Monday, first access begins for College Basketball 2021. Tuesday, 7:30 on Twitch, the Developer Dynasty for College Basketball 2021, if you want to see what all the excitement is about. And we'll be back here next Wednesday. So thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your week and great weekend, and we'll see you next week.